These are wrestlers that I think are being buried.
Okay.
Or are buried. These are the guys I think if they go over there.
You want to take them one at a time?
And in no specific order.
Okay.
Ty Dillinger.
Ty Dillinger, he's definitely...
Come on. Fans love him.
For some reason, they did not like the 10-count chant. Again, maybe that's because it's not a Vince McMahon creation. Who knows? But that guy...
It was organic.
Yeah, that guy, it's like the Fandango. It's like the Yes chant. I don't know.
Fandango's another guy.
Yeah, I don't know why they just decided, like, nah, we're not going to push you with it.
But now imagine Ty Dillinger says, fuck you guys, I'm going to ROH.
Right.
You think they're not going to know who he is?
Right, do a 10-count. I don't care what you call him. If he keeps doing the 10-count, can't copyright a 10-count.
Can't do that.
So
the fans could do the 10-count, and he'll just do a thumbs up to it. Like,
exactly.
yeah, keep going. He just keeps going up, and then he stops them at that. Because he's like, I'm not saying 10, I'm telling them to stop. But I'm using my thumbs to tell them to keep going.
Of course.
Ty Dillinger, he jumps over there. That's it, man. Mm-hmm. That'll be beautiful. Because Cody Rhodes showed you can do it.
You can do it, yeah.
And so that's another guy.
All right.
Let's see. Antonio Cesaro.
Well, Cesaro,
where is he, dude?
I don't know what goes on with him and Sheamus at the current. I don't know if they're injured or just taking a break. Who knows? But, I feel like we have to discuss exactly what buried means because Cesaro is on TV at least. Right now he's not.
He's not.
Right now he's not. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going on in the current. But the last 2 years, tag team division, tag titles, you can say what you want about how his athleticism and his approach to wrestling should make him a main eventer, and I agree. They keep him straddled. They keep their thumb on him for some reason. I don't know what that is. But the argument could be made that at least he's got TV time. At least some of these guys that I'm sure you're going to mention, they have their spot on a TV. It's just not the spot that they necessarily deserve. They deserve probably better spots.
Yeah, they bury them.
They're burying them. So, Cesaro is definitely one of those clear cases. That guy is amazing. I mean, like you said, you went to Ring of Honor early. You saw him as Claudio. I seen him too, and I wasn't as attracted to him as a fan at the time. I mean, he was fun. I remember he used to go, "Hey," like all that.
He would wave at you and like
that was all fun stuff. I remember it too. But when he came to WWE and he started showcasing it on a next level, like some of his moves and how he gets a crowd behind him, he's awesome. He's such a great athlete. I don't know why.
Yeah.
They don't give him the proper spot. He just they feel like, yeah, you can get a little TV time, but you're always going to be right here.
Yeah. Okay. So
who else you got?
God, this one hurts my feelings, man. I love this guy when he first started. I was hooked, and I thought this is the next big thing right here. He's going to be the biggest guy in wrestling. That's how I felt. Now he's a fucking, I don't know what they're doing with him. Bray Wyatt. God damn it, man.
Yeah, Bray Wyatt came in with such a Undertaker-esque approach of Mystic that could have ran forever, and he
made my skin crawl.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know
who is this guy?
Yeah, I thought that's what they were doing him. I thought he was going to be the next, whatever you want to call it, enigma or the next mystical thing.
The next phenom.
Yeah, the next phenom, and they just took a stupid approach towards
took
it.
A dump on his face.
Yeah,
and
and
said,
just
fuck him.
I don't know what goes on, and it's funny because again, I am a WWE mark. I do get entertained by some of the dumb stuff. Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt. I find it to be fun. It's fun. It's entertaining to a
What
degree.
about when he did that thing with Randy Orton?
Yeah.
He had that match in that fucking house. Yeah. Or that stupid thing at WrestleMania. Way to bury him.
That's what's funny is that, like, again, just trying to be objective, I could get through the house thing because at least that was something unique. It was like, all right, whatever. Yeah, it wasn't great.
It was a gimmick thing.
It was a gimmick thing. But then, like you said, then they brought it to Mania. And then they did the stupid things with the bugs in the ring. And, it ended up just being a flat match. Nobody cared in the end. And it was just like, I don't know. Like, again, you call it burying. He gets his TV time in. It's just that they bring it to a certain level where you expect something from him.
But now imagine,
and then they just chop his legs out from under him.
Yeah, that's my point. Is imagine you have a guy like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He got his TV time, but imagine if you had him up there like fucking throwing maggots on people. They'd be like, TV time or not, that sucks, dude. I don't want to see that shit.
You're right.
So I know what we wanted to see when he would go out and do his promos. And in darkness and play mind games and like he had his fucking cult following, like that shit, and he had his wheelchair, not a wheelchair, a fucking rocking chair.
Yeah.
Like he was awesome.
It's awesome, yeah, without a doubt.
That's TV time compared to this one.
Then they stripped the Wyatt family from him
early,
which we felt like why, like Then they gave it back to, I don't know if you even remember that, but they took it away from him and then actually gave it back to him. He went solo for a minute. And then he brought back the Wyatt family, and then again they separated, and now he went from just like a bunch of classic guys like Jinder Mahal and even Jack Swagger, all these guys. He went from WWE champion, which almost felt like out of nowhere, to now you're wrestling. Now you got bumped off the card last month, and no one even spoke about that. I noticed it as a wrestling fan. The B Team versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, that happened at Extreme Rules. The month before that was booked for the pay-per-view, and it just silently didn't happen. Yeah. Because I guess maybe time constraints.
I think he got into a car accident. Is that
No,
what he
not
got?
before the pay-per-view though, you know, but whatever. The bottom line is you're wrestling opening card matches with the tag belts that no one cares about at the moment, you know, and it's
And
like
they're ugly as hell anyway.
yeah,
so I don't
and
want
it's like, why did that happen with a guy like Bray Wyatt? Like again, just to make a comparison, not saying he's as legendary as Undertaker or anything like that, but Undertaker didn't revert back to having the opening match on the pre-show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
And
never
during his
happened.
run, that never happened, you
never
know?
happen.
And Bray Wyatt was on a course that almost was like that, you know. Again, I'm not trying to say he's as phenomenal as Undertaker, but
No.
they were trying to make a gimmick that
It's
was
at
going to
the
be up
beginning,
there.
though.
It was
Yeah.
at the beginning stages, and instead you just chopped his legs out. You know?
And now he's nowhere. That's
he's
what I
nowhere.
call burying. You buried him
Right.
because you
And
had something.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
Right.
And just real quick before I move on to the next guy, one of the greatest moments I've ever seen in the new era of wrestling was with the Wyatt family versus the Shield.
Yeah.
There was that one moment where they're standing in the middle of the ring just staring at each other and you're like ready to square off.
The crowd was chanting, "This is awesome!" Already.
I fucking was like jumping in my chair like I can't. This is too much awesome and for one room.
Yeah.
And that you see how awesome that could have been.
Right, and there you go. There's Roman, and there's Braun, and there's even Eric Rowan isn't like all these guys getting cheered.
Amazing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what did you do to botch that
the
up?
shit.
That was 6 main eventers, not 2 that we ended up with.
Yeah.
You know, with and I'm talking about Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose is injured. I'm sure he's a main eventer too, but he's injured right now.
Yeah.
So instead of having 6 main eventers, you have 2 now from that. You know, like
and barely any.
and
Like,
barely.
really, do you though? Like
Right.
you don't have them. Like
Right.
so, it sucks because one of your main eventers is getting booed off the fucking face of the
Right,
earth.
correct.
Okay, so here's another guy that the fans love him, but they're just not doing anything with him. And I know that you see he's getting his time, but like he keeps having matches, keeps fucking losing. He's just a loser. He doesn't, and he's not really menacing. Nobody's afraid of him. We just like seeing him. My wife loves him. When she sees this guy, she's like, this guy's amazing. Elias.
Oh yeah, Elias. Yeah.
My God.
He's in that warm up spot. I feel like I don't. Again, I'll come to the defense of saying burying him. I don't necessarily think so. I think he's still on the rise. You know, he's gonna have a tough time breaking the quote unquote
He
glass
got
ceiling.
squashed by Roman Reigns.
He did get squashed out.
He got squashed by Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he
and
lost
pretty
to
much
Lashley.
everyone.
He
Has he
loses-
ever won a match? I don't think he's ever won a match, dude.
Yeah, no, he does lose. He's in a spot right now where he's losing to all the supposed main eventers at the time. But he is a guy that's just like, yeah, he's awesome, Elias, right? Since the minute he's hit the scene, he's resonating with the crowd. And again, I guess that's what you mean by buried. There's a guy who, okay, I won't argue that people are necessarily tuning in to watch him, but you're entertained by him. That's another guy that if I show my casual friends who just happen to be at my house while I'm watching Raw, they watch and at first they're like, "Oh, what is this guy with the guitar?" You know, and then he says something funny and he strums his guitar
hilarious, dude.
and he's pretty skilled with his guitar.
I love
and
the way he messes with the crowd. He's like,
Right.
this place sucks.
Right,
I'm
and then
like,
you have no choice but to be entertained and laugh at it, no
Yeah.
matter what. At the end, and then you see
got
it.
the look, too.
Yeah, and then you see it more often, and then you begin to get it, and that's a character that resonates. I feel like, and if I started watching Raw Monday and out of nowhere Elias started pinning everybody, and then you put him into a main event picture, like
I would be happy.
People would be happy because that's a guy who we organically are attracted to, that we're watching, that we're entertained by, and it's not necessarily being shoved down our throats by the WWE. You know.
You know what I would have done when Elias had that match against Roman Reigns? Or not Roman Reigns, against Braun Strowman. If he had that match against Braun Strowman, I would have had him like pin him in like a small package position, but like where Braun Strowman, like because he's so big, he just can't kick out of it. Like maybe have him in the corner and he's cheating, and then he gets the pin like barely. Then Braun Strowman could destroy him after me, kill him, whatever, make him bleed, make an example, destroy him outside the ring, make him look like a bitch. But he still won the match. And that's fine because Braun Strowman, everybody knows, oh, he got lucky. He beat Braun Strowman. But at least he's got a victory over Braun Strowman.
Right.
And now, as a heel, he can sing a song about how he beat Braun Strowman. Can you imagine how amazing that would have been?
Right, you're right.
It writes itself.
Well, that still could happen because he's still on the rise, Elias. He hasn't been around that long, you got to remember. So he's on the rise.
Yep.
So
that's Elias. I think he would do great things.
yeah, he could be
in our
great. He looked like a guy who had the Intercontinental title written all over him when I first saw him. He still does. I picture him sitting there with the spotlight with the belt around his waist while he's doing his song.
And he won it in like some stupid way. And he's like,
right.
I bet you guys wish that I'd give him a title shot. Well, I am giving a title shot, but not to Seth Rollins.
Not in this place, you know.
It's going to be to, what's the name of that guy? The ugly face guy with Carmella?
James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth. James Ellsworth can have a match with me. So there's that.
Okay, Elias, who else you got on your list there?
Oh man, this one's pretty recent. I'm really upset about this one. Actually, I'm gonna leave that one for last. but I'm going to go with Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode definitely came in with a big splash,
about a
but
fucking burial, man.
yeah, I don't know what he wasn't even on the card. 12-match card, can't get on the card. That's when you know. Again, if you're not being used properly, if there's 12 matches on a card and you're not on the card, something's wrong. Something needs to be adjusted. You know, Bobby Roode kind of said that himself on Raw last week, I believe. He made mention of that, and then lost to Dolph Ziggler, so it doesn't matter. But
Meanwhile, Dolph Ziggler said it's not going to be for the title.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to beat you, and now I should get a shot for the title.
You know, an argument can be made though. Where does it end though? Because you can't necessarily have everybody be a main eventer, right? Not everybody could be the WWE champion.
But we're talking about the Intercontinental title. We're not talking about main event.
Right, we're talking about just at least being in a spot.
Yeah,
yeah. Bobby
You're not
Roode,
putting
yeah.
him in anything. Bobby Roode is just some asshole that goes out in a robe and smiles and
says
stands
glorious.
in a weird position and moves his hands, and that's all he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's smiling. He's like, "Oh, I'm Bobby Roode, and I have a big dick." Do you though? You're getting your ass whooped. So, but in NXT,
Champion.
that's not even close to the Bobby Roode that we got. That Bobby Roode was
the champion.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now he's a little bitch.
You're right. Yeah.
So that's a burial. This next one, man, I don't even think there's any way to redeem him at this point. People like him still, though. So, I mean, at that last match he had, I was really impressed. Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? My wife loves that guy.
Yeah.
She's like, why is he such a pussy all of a sudden? I'm like, WWE, I don't know.
That's Vince McMahon loving the demon character more and not caring about Finn Balor. You know,
but we haven't even seen the demon character in forever. Yeah. Meanwhile, there goes the Itsy Bitsy Spider fucking thing.
Yeah.
They're singing the Itsy Bitsy Spider to this guy.
Yeah,
what
I don't know.
Piece of shit.
He definitely is a high caliber wrestler. He's one of the top, arguably one of the top guys in the business, I guess, right now. But in the world, yeah.
He's from Japan.
Yeah, he's definitely really good, and he's not getting the push either. He got pushed out the door, if you remember, before he got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, right out the gate, he was like, they were going to make him the star of everything.
But the thing is, he got hurt.
He hurt his shoulder, so that kind of hurt his chances, and I don't believe he's been given a fair chance to succeed since then. You're correct. You know,
because
since
Vince
then.
McMahon, he gave him the chance, and he's like,
now he just really loves his jacket every week.
Yeah, he's like, look at my jacket and my abs.
Look at my cool jacket.
We got a situation down here. And then he's fucking smiling like an asshole.
Yeah.
God, I hate that shit. Mm-hmm. So Finn Balor. So let me go over the list again. Ty Dillinger, Bray Wyatt, Cesaro, Elias, Finn Balor, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens. Listen, we like him, and he's getting his time. But if his time is just getting literally shit on from a porta potty, I'm sorry, I don't want to see that anymore.
Yeah.
It's embarrassment to see that. I don't even know what Sami Zayn is.
He's another. Sami Zayn's injured right now. Oh. He's another guy, Kevin Owens, who was given the ball last year, or maybe it's 2 years ago now, whatever. He was given the world title. He had his little run with Jericho, and that stuff was awesome. I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yep.
But then it's like they don't know what to do with you after they cycle you out of the title picture. You know, I understand they got to cycle guys out. Don't get me wrong. Kevin Owens has to take the step back from being the champion. Yeah. But then instead of taking just 1 or 2 steps back, they throw him down a flight of staircase. Yeah. You know, like and now he's at the bottom of the barrel. You know, he's another one missing. I mean, he wrestled the last pay-per-view, but he's missing pay-per-views. He's off the card. He's in meaningless matches. No one cares. You know, this thing with Braun Strowman, like you said, from a storyline perspective, if I didn't watch wrestling every week and I explained the story to somebody, Braun Strowman's the bad guy there. You
Absolutely.
know, if you explain the story of what's going on and how
Actually,
he's
that's
bullying,
my wife. My wife is the reason why I got that, because I'm like, she's like, I'm sorry, like, why is Braun Strowman being such? I thought he was a good guy. I'm like, he's a good guy. Why is he shitting all over this poor guy who's running away?
Right.
And then she said, wasn't he hiding in like Kurt Angle's office because he was afraid of Braun Strowman? That sounds like a bully.
Right.
I thought WWE's against bullying, and I'm like, well, they are. It's only funny if Braun Strowman does it, I guess.
Right,
He's already got. He doesn't even need to do anything with Kevin Owens.
Right.
He literally has the money in the bank in his hand.
Yeah.
So Kevin Owens means nothing to him, but he destroys his car.
Yeah.
He destroyed his car.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Mm-hmm. He threw him out of that fucking porta potty, and then he threw him off the cage and laughed at him. He's like, he's dead. I killed him. Hey, you're doing I'm doing an interview. Remember last night when I killed Bray Wyatt?
Well, that's
not Bray Wyatt, Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
I killed him.
That's WWE trying to make you think that you remember all the heinous things Kevin Owens done in his career thus far. So he's just getting his comeuppance now. He's just getting his receipt by having Braun Strowman beat him up. Yeah, right. Well, how many times do you have to get it? And also, like you said,
just kill him. Just shoot him in the head.
Yeah, people don't want to see this lame storyline. Like, let Kevin Owens get his get his that he deserves because he's been such a bad guy by losing a title match with AJ Styles. You know, he doesn't have to win the match, but put him in that main event spot because he belongs to be there. You know, he should be there losing the match. So
okay, so I Daniel Bryan is the next one. I think like let's say he got buried by literally
In the
saying
past.
he can't wrestle anymore.
Right.
That's a burial in my opinion, but because he came back. Now he's back. And he's finally doing something with The Miz, which, thank God.
thank God, we've been waiting for that.
And
right?
the only reason why he's doing something with The Miz is because Kane got legitimately injured.
Right.
Something
Otherwise,
happened to his leg.
he was going to be saddled with the tag titles, it seemed.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So they're like, oh, shit, he's injured. We got to lose the titles.
Or worse, Kane was going to turn on him, and we were going to have to be subject to that again, which was always definitely a possibility.
My God, dude. So,
But, why is Daniel Bryan, again, like you said, a fan favorite? People love him. His in-ring is great. Why are we putting him against the Bludgeon Brothers? Why is he fighting Kane potentially? Why is he feuding with these guys? Like, get him in there. Like, you know, The Miz, say what you will about his in-ring caliber. He's not on maybe the level of Daniel Bryan. But if we watch Daniel Bryan The Miz, we were going to like that. We would be into that. If we watch Daniel Bryan have a good wrestling match with almost anyone else on SmackDown, it'd been good. But why is he wrestling these giants, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, potentially Kane? You know, that's not the match that people want to see Daniel Bryan in, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, nobody sat here and said the dream match is Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. You know, I want to see that so
it's gonna be
bad.
so good.
You know, like that's so like what
him
I don't
and Cass, like,
Oh yeah, him and Big Cass. Oh, I wrote that on a paper when I was in grade school. You know, like I was been dreaming of this match. You know,
one of these days.
One of these days, you know, I'm going to see Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. I can't wait.
That's going to be
you
a
know?
slobber knocker.
And it's like typical wrestling to not understand that. I'm not saying never have the match. Give it to me on SmackDown where it belongs.
Yeah.
You don't make it a storyline. I have to watch it on 2 pay-per-views. Like that's retarded. You know, you want to see Daniel Bryan in there with AJ Styles. You want to see Daniel Bryan in there with.
And what happened when they faced
any other athletic guy, even New Day members? You know, they're all good. Like show me something different. Show me a good match. Show me all this stuff. That's that's not the different we want to see. First of all, we already saw Daniel Bryan and the Wyatts. Let's not forget we already saw them do that 3-5 years ago, whatever it was. But no one is clamoring to see Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. That's not a knock on them either. That's not a knock on anybody.
They're good
it's
wrestlers,
just not. That's not the match that you want.
Here's what should have happened, right? Now, let's pretend that WWE did a really good job building Bobby Roode or Finn Balor.
Right.
So let's say Daniel Bryan shows up, and the very first thing he says is, I want my title back. That's what he should have said. I never lost the title. I want it back, right? And then Bobby Roode shows up. Let's pretend they built him. He's an up-and-coming star, and he's like, whoa, buddy. You don't just get to show up and get a title shot without going through me. Bam. You just set up a fucking
And now we
awesome
have Bobby
feud.
Roode and Daniel Bryan can wrestle for 2 pay-per-views.
And Daniel Bryan will say, dude, you're beneath me. You know, something like that. Like, I don't need to face you. I was the champion. I never lost it. So as far as I'm concerned, I am the champion. And then Bobby Roode says, good. So then maybe I should beat the real champion in you.
Right.
That's, bam.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm a great writer.
And, you know, when you say Bobby Roode, the funny thing is, insert name here, really, because it could have been Bobby Roode. It
Or
could have been
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. It could have been Kevin Owens. It could have been a whole host of these guys from your list or anywhere, or even more that we haven't mentioned. Could have been almost anybody.
It could have been an upcoming star.
Not like I said, not clamoring to see, you know, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan versus Daniel Bryan, or Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan, or Kane versus Daniel Bryan.
And then it'll be this. Daniel Bryan beats Bobby Roode, right? And Bobby Roode goes, I respect you. But then the next guy comes in and goes, you know what? I want a match with you because I believe you're the real champion. And then that's the storyline. So who's the real champion? Is it the guy holding the belt who's not even on Raw? Or is it this guy?
Right.
Because now you have legitimacy. And then it builds to, here comes the champion. And he's like, why don't I have a match at SummerSlam or whatever? Well, that's because nobody wants to face you. Why wouldn't they want to face me? I'm the champion. Daniel Bryan comes out and says, I'm the champion.
Because everyone knows I'm the real
Yes.
star.
Oh,
Right,
my
yeah, no, it's
God.
good.
Oh.
Exactly. These are things that they just don't, they don't see it. Like, Daniel Bryan's been wrestling now a couple of months, and, like, no interaction with Nakamura yet. Now, for me, that's a dream match. That's a match I want to see, Daniel Bryan Nakamura. So, again, maybe WWE has this idea of holding off big matches for a minute, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, you got SummerSlam, you got Survivor Series, you got WrestleMania you want to save matches for, but you know, like I said, the time in the middle, though, no one wants to see Daniel Bryan, Big Cass. No one wants to see Daniel Bryan versus these guys. No one wants to see Nakamura in, you know, bullshit matches like doing nothing. You know, him and AJ Styles, I was all for. Did they have to wrestle on 3 or 4 consecutive pay-per-views? No, they didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, no.
you know, just like him and Jeff Hardy. I don't know what happened this week with like the pay-per-view match being shitty and then the SmackDown match being really good. I don't know. But you know, all right, at least it's different. At least it's something you could see different, you know? It's not the same shit over and over again, you know?
Well, those were the guys that I think were being buried. So, and I'm on to my last topic, because I'm all out of topics. This is the last one. Now that we're going to shift gears. We're going to move on to the women's division, and I think the women's division has done an excellent job, building them up. But as of lately, dude, it's fucking debacle now.
Well, I'll say this: in my extensive history of watching wrestling, this is the only period of time that I've ever cared about the Divas division.
Yeah,
now, again,
that's why I'm saying
not
they've done a
trying.
phenomenal
Yeah, I'm
job.
not trying to knock all the other divas, and it is what it is. They're all, some of them have
Look, I like
legendary
Trish
stats.
Stratus
yeah,
and Lita.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to diss them or anything. But as the wrestling fan, you know, usually the common thing was the women's match was usually like the bathroom break match,
broad panties match.
Yeah, those matches usually you went to the bathroom on, or you got your snacks when you're in the arena and stuff like that. But now, in the last 2 years, women's wrestling has come such a long way that you don't want to miss it, and it's almost one of the most promoted match on the card. Almost,
Started in NXT, I believe.
Yeah, no, the NXT with the 4 horsewomen, as they say in wrestling, which was Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley.
Yeah,
right. So they definitely started.
well,
this whole
Stephanie
thing.
said she's one of the horsewomen.
She's the
now.
fifth.
She said she's the fifth.
The J.J.
one.
Dillon of the
what
group.
What a fucking idiot, dude. They're so out of touch.
But anyway, no, but the women's division, yes, it's come a long way to where now their matches are a big part of the show.
Yeah.
And it's funny because WWE just can't help themselves to do it the same thing to the women they do to the men, like with this Carmella situation and James Ellsworth and Asuka.
Why is Carmella the champion?
Why is she the champion? I guess the argument can be made. It's easy to hate her and boo her, so they feel like you make her a bad guy. But you're sacrificing so many other options that are out there. Even a person like Becky Lynch, who may not have a huge following or be such a big star, she does great matches. I would rather see Asuka and Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Asuka and mix and match those in between. That's just the SmackDown side. We're not even talking about Bayley and Sasha and all the people on Raw.
Yeah.
Why is Carmella in that position? Even Naomi. Naomi's a great athlete too. I think she's good too, but it just, you watch it and you're like, why? Why is the women's division based around James Ellsworth and Carmella right now?
So the reason why I went into this topic next, I had one more wrestler on that buried list, and it's Asuka. Mm-hmm. Because Asuka's she's lost all of her luster, man.
I agree with
you.
you.
Empress
Yeah.
that was undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
They botched that, and now she's fucking losing to James. She's having matches with James Ellsworth, and she's fucking losing to Carmella that everybody thinks is she never won anything, and all of a sudden she just won because she cheated. Now she's beating Asuka.
Right.
It's like, dude, now Carmella's got to fucking win over her.
If by buried you mean current, then yeah, because like you said, they were not burying her. Obviously, she went undefeated for 2 years in WWE, including NXT. So, but yeah, right now all of a sudden just. You can't take a monster like that, like Asuka. You promoted her as the Goldberg, as the female Goldberg. She was unstoppable, and now, okay, losing to Charlotte, I don't think anybody had a problem with that. I thought that storyline was.
I think
good.
it was just shocking.
It was shocking, but I thought,
but it was good.
Yeah, it was good because Charlotte has,
is
legit. Yeah,
but then Charlotte lost.
Right.
The next day, fucking
yeah.
Carmella.
Right.
You just threw out all. So the next day, when I saw that match and she lost, I was like, you're right. It's Charlotte. She's still good. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to see a whole new version of Charlotte. Mm-hmm. I like this. Nope. Next day she loses to Carmella.
Yeah.
Wait, so you didn't want the title to go on Asuka?
Right.
So if you're going to take the title away from Charlotte, you're not giving it to Asuka.
Yeah.
So now you ruin Asuka, and now you're ruining Charlotte, whatever she had going for her, and now this fucking person had it.
Yeah.
That's
what it's the funny thing because it's typical WWE. Asuka goes on a 2-year winning streak just to lose almost all her matches now.
Yeah.
That's not like you want to talk about kayfabing. That's them not kayfabing themselves because how does that make sense? You know what I mean? You can't tell me that from a sport perspective. Oh, they figured out the enigma that it is Asuka, so Charlotte got the win. Okay, fine. That doesn't mean everybody just gets to beat Asuka now. She's still a dominant force, or still should be the Godzilla of that division, the Beast. She should still be there. But no, we're gonna figure out ways. That's the thing. It's like instead of storytelling and figuring out ways to keep her as the legit beast she is, their storytelling is how can we make her lose? Yeah. What can we do to get her to lose? Okay, we'll include James Ellsworth. We'll have her screwed this way. She'll get her head.
There'll be a cage.
Yeah, she'll get her head rammed into a cage, and she gets a cheap win. And it's like, people are tired of that old school approach.
Who did that? That ruined it? Was that WCW? I feel like that's what they did.
Yeah,
All their
exactly.
matches were like, oh, it's cheating, and then that
Right.
fucked it up, dude. So that's the
The the old formulas don't all have to work. You know, like that old formula of that mentality, I think, is played out. I think, you know, you keep Asuka as legit. You keep her as the dominant force. Okay, yeah, you figured out a way to get the title off her. She doesn't necessarily have to have the belt, but at the same time, you don't just have her. Now she loses. Whatever that tag match was, you know, I can't remember exactly who it was, but she had a tag match where she lost in the tag match.
Yep.
She's lost to Carmella twice on pay-per-view now. You know, it's like, come on, like, you know, it's ridiculous. Like, you know she's supposed to be winning.